Hey, good morning everybody. It's John Huber, UJ.Adventures. It is Monday. Super high tide today. A little colder, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty day. There's some clouds, but not too bad. Gonna work on that Snook. I feel the clock ticking now. I'm about 2 weeks out at this point. I think another 14 days or so. So fingers crossed we're gonna try and get this done today. I think it's the smallest snook I ever caught. A little fat snook. Beautiful fish though. Just love it. Look at that. So pretty. This morning. Baja's just getting her tax early, I guess. It's going to be warm enough here in a minute. Maybe in 15 minutes. Just need a little sun to pop up. I'm just going to keep working down the beach. I think I'm going to try and stay on the move a little more than I usually do. Thought the camera was going to take a swim right there. Wow. That was a big wave. I better move somewhere. Got no fish to admire, but look at that fast jimmy fly. That thing is beautiful. Well, it seems like things have kind of died down out there. I haven't really caught much today. Just a lot of wave energy. I don't know, the ocean's changing. Today's the first day I kind of truly feel like maybe the snook season is winding down. I just haven't been catching a lot since the big full moon. Big king tides came in, kind of changed everything. But today the water felt cold to me, and then catching those two ratons back to back, those are species I caught here in like March, in spring, when it is really cold and the water's cold and you catch different species and you're not catching snook. So I'm kind of wondering if things are starting to change. I still got a couple weeks to find out, but I definitely got that inkling today, that kind of feeling that maybe the season's starting to wind down, which is what it is. So I'm gonna hang out, let the tide drop out of here, and I'll head on back a little later. Decided to come out in the desert. I
think I'm going to put up my game camera somewhere near some water. And there's 2 Indian caches back here that I saw last year. They're up in the cliffs. They're easy to see because they've been broke into a long time ago, or just opened and left, who knows. But last year when I found them, I didn't have a good flashlight, and I could see some old honeycomb from bees that had moved in a long time ago and since long abandoned it. But I just had my phone with me and I couldn't really see anything inside. So I brought a little better flashlight today and just a headlamp that I can look in there and see if there's anything cool in there. And if nothing else, show you something really cool out here in the desert. So I'm always a little bit creeped out, a little bit on edge walking through here. It's absolutely breathtaking scenery. But if I haven't told this story yet, last year I hiked up in here twice, and I was camped down in the desert farther down the canyon. And the second time I was cooking outdoors, cooking over a fire at camp, and then went to bed. I was sleeping in the back of the truck. I didn't have the rooftop tent, and I woke up in the morning and there were clear cat tracks, mountain lion tracks, right to the edge of my firelight, and then a set of 4 where he had just stood. He wasn't walking, he was just standing. So I'm curious if at some point he got close enough to my firelight that he was sitting there staring at me. And I followed the tracks the next morning way back up in here, and he was just clearly following my tracks from the day before back to my camp. And so it creeped me out a little bit because I don't want to get eaten by a cat. This year I've noticed more cows and horses here, more activity ranch wise. I didn't see that last year. So maybe he's not here, but I'm gonna watch for tracks and, you know, just be aware of my surroundings. Like here, raccoon, big raccoon, was through here last night. So this first cache, I think, is right above me here. Kind of up near those trees. Not difficult to get to. It's a scramble. If you fall, you're going to land on a cactus. That sucks. But we'll climb up there. I think it's in that spot. Oh, it's so hot out here right now. Okay, I see it here. A little dark crack right up there. Oh, it gets really steep right here. This sucks. I think this is when I'm supposed to advise you not to do this. Yeah, don't do this. Okay, how do we get over here? bush. I think it's up and over. Okay, a bit of a bummer, a bit of a scare. The bees aren't in the old cache, but they're in the rocks right next door. They're here to tell me they don't like me here. The honeybees here are pretty benign. I think they'll let me go look, but I'm gonna let it calm down for a minute. I'm literally standing right on top of the cache, right, and the bees are right here behind me on the other side of the tree. So I'm going to very calmly walk down there and see if they come out and warn me again. Walk down there, climb down there, try not to fall 300 feet down there. Sure there's nothing living in there, like a giant raccoon or a cat, but you can see the rocks, how they were stacked here to hide this, and then they get mudded over, but somebody broke into it a long time ago. See the old honeycomb in there. One down by my foot. So that's the first one. Then I gotta go find the side canyon the other one's in. There's so many side canyons I can't really pinpoint it, but we'll go find it and get back up this thing. Okay, that was pretty cool, huh? You don't just find a big cache every day of the week in the middle of nowhere, Baja. Oh, Baja. Always grabbing on you, loving on you. I didn't know this was a thing, but this is, they call it the walking cactus. So the walking cactus is not dead, but there's a pitaya on this one, and I didn't know that this cactus produced a pitaya. It's unbelievable. You only see these when it rains a lot on the pitaya cactus. This looks exactly the same and totally ripe. I'll tell you, if those were plentiful and I saw a bunch of them here, I would be taking that and eating it. I'm just not. It's the only one here. I can leave it, let it do its thing. Just the fact that it made it this far means it's going to reproduce because it's ripe and ready to go. Yeah, you just brush those spines off. You can peel it if it's really ripe, or you can just take a spoon and spoon out the inside, and it's like a, I don't know, a watermelon-y, not very sweet, but a really cool texture. Just a great fruit. That's really cool. I can't wait to show somebody that knows more about pitaya to see if this is a variety that people often look for and pick. And that stalk is the remnants of a flower. And on the pitaya cactus, the flower blossoms once a year and at night, and is pollinated by a big moth. And if it doesn't happen that night, then too bad. But apparently it happens enough. I've been in other parts of the desert where there's pitaya everywhere that are perfectly ripe, and I filled buckets full. It's like the Baja equivalent to morel hunting. Really cool. That was neat to see. Okay, back to there it is, the cache. So you can see how those rocks are lying in the mouth of that thing, and one of them's been pulled away. But they're all very deliberately placed in a row in the very mouth of it to hide the cavity behind it. But again, the mud probably wore away. Somebody saw it, pulled it open, see what was in there. But let's go look at it closer. It's not as much of a death-defying scramble this time. This time you only fall 50 feet instead of 300. See these, it's kind of a mix of the, whatever, that's sandstony stone mix, and then some actual these ocean rocks they're all over out here in the desert. But these nice rounded rocks from, I'm sure they came out at the bottom of the arroyo here. Yeah, and then something was hidden back there. I have no idea what was back there, but if I had to guess, I would say it would be like the stuff they needed for when they were near the ocean. Instead of, you know, they probably migrated back into the mountains in the winter, probably down here in the summer, and then had whatever hooks or spear points or whatever they're using to hunt, you know, sea lions and fish and whatever else, turtles for sure. And then didn't want to carry all that stuff back up into the mountains because they didn't need it up there to hunt deer and what, ducks or whatever else they're hunting up there, quail. But really neat. I'm sure there's tons of this along here that haven't been seen or opened. You would just walk by it and never know. So that cache might continue on back there a little ways. Who knows? I'm not gonna go breaking into it, but man, it makes you curious. Grab some shade just for a quick minute, get a drink, burning up. Not much farther to go. There's a spot up here where last year, even though there's a lot of water here, it looks like it's fresh water. It's either brackish or there's just so much algae in it from the warmth that maybe they don't like drinking it. But the coyotes had dug some holes in the sand between some of these brackish lakes, and we're drinking out of there. Everybody was using it. The bees, there were tracks everywhere. I'm hoping to find an area like that or the same area, and leave my game camera there. That would be a great spot to see a lot of action. Alrighty, let's go. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. This has all been dug out here. It's not much water, but the bees are here. That's how I know it's good fresh water, because they're always looking for it. Quail tracks. There's so many tracks here. It's just piles of tracks on top of tracks. So I think I'm going to put the camera here somewhere nearby. I got to find something to strap it to so nothing absconds with my camera. The vultures are coming. They must know I'm thirsty. They're circling over by my UTV, waiting for me. Probably figure I'll just drop dead right about there. The thing won't start and I'll thirst to death. But somebody knows I'm here. First rule of being out here, people. Don't drive down from the States. Walk out into the middle of the desert in the middle of nowhere, Baja, without letting somebody know where you are. And I mean somebody local, not your contact back in the US. Because if you break down out here, you can be screwed. So don't do that. I have friends that know if I don't check in with them by dark 30, then they're gonna come looking for me, and they know where to come look. So don't scramble up stupid hills in the middle of nowhere by yourself, but do tell somebody where you are. It's crazy, way back here in the desert, I can feel like this coolness up high up around my face, and then I got up out of the wash. There's a giant marine layer that's pushing in, and definitely over where my camp is. It looks chilly and cold. Don't want that. I mean, this is a little extreme kind of sun here, but hoping for a sunny afternoon in camp. Get my solar panel out, get some things charged, and maybe dry some clothes. Maybe that's not happening. We'll see. Maybe by the time I get there, it'll clear out. Made it. Made it, everybody. Never drink all your water before you know if your rig is going to start. I have a couple more bottles in here. Here's a little moment that I care deeply about. in the side-by-side with no mist on me, and then just right in front of me. The plants and animals just must love this when it does this. It's wild, looks like smoke. The two guys out there right into the sunset is Miguel and Adrian. A couple guys probably in their 20s. World-class anglers. They probably don't even know it. They're out here every single night. Miguel was the first angler I met when I got here and made me feel really welcome. And Adrian I met a couple days later, and he taught me so much in a span of 2 days. It got me in the game and kept me coming back. Just really good guys, super nice guys.